absolutely gutted for the people's champ, Eli Tomac. Arguably, he had the championship in the bag. Instead, he got struck by lightning in such a weird scenario where he ruptured his Achilles tendon, which is going to take 4 to 12 months to heal, which puts him out until 2024. I am not saying his career is over with, that he needs to retire, because I want to see the number 3 out swinging in 2024. So let's talk about prevention and possible causes of this just weird freak accident. In the rhythm section, Eli Tomac is stepping over, which he's been doing all night long. All the factory guys were taking this line. You can tell that his feet are on the foot pegs, leaning on his toes. So there's a lot of flexion in that ankle. And the transition here is a deep transition. There's a lot of G-forces that get put on body parts during Supercross. And you could see his rear wheel lands well, but his front wheel lands at the bottom of the transition, and boom, right there is where the Achilles snapped. And you could tell in the air, he goes, ow. And that's what causes the case, was the small little overjump causes the case. And then he's like, something is really, really not right. I wish we had a better view of it here during the slow-mo, but you can see him jump. Front wheel lands at the bottom of the transition, which creates all the forces on that ankle, and boom, there it goes. That kind of flexion should never happen. So let's talk about a little bit more of the causes. And my buddy Cooksey actually brought this to my attention, that there's these braces on these Tech 10s to help with that. And a lot of the riders don't have them. I am speculating, but it's because boots are hard to break in. And if you're getting a new pair of boots every time you're on the track, because you got to sell boots because that's your sponsorship, well, you got to cut corners to try to make it to where you feel you're not going to miss a shift. And if we look closer at some photos, here's Chase Sexton that day during the purple Alpine Star boots. You can tell that it doesn't quite look as if there is braces on there. There's not braces on there. And why am I saying that there should be potential braces on there? Well, here's Colt Nichols advertising for these guys, and there definitely looks like there's braces that should be on there. And you could argue maybe there are, but I don't think they are there. I do not think they are there. One step further, and we can look. This one's harder to see, but that doesn't look like they're on there. Here is another of Chase Sexton during, I believe, one of the Daytona or Atlanta rounds, and they're not there. They look like during the photo shoot that they are there for Yamaha. Maybe not on Tomac. I want to say that that's not there, because there should be just like one piece of white on the white ones. I don't know. The white ones are hard to tell. These special ones, it's so pixelated, it's hard to see there. Here's a good look. Colt Nichols looks like he doesn't have them. Tomac, I want to say it looks like he doesn't have them either. Barsha, it's hard to tell. He may have them. He may have them. But definitely Colt does not. And Tomac is looking suspiciously like there's not any of those braces on there. But very interesting that this is how they're designed, and the riders are not wearing them because they are trying to break the boots in faster. And Tomac's purple new Alpine Stars do not look like those pieces are on there. Ironically, that plastic insert between buckles 2 and 3 of the Alpine Stars are there probably to prevent hyperextension or minimize the effects inside the ankle. Here, I believe this is an even better prevention, is these ankle saver foot pegs, because you have an extra foot peg on your heel to do that exact same thing, prevent the range of motion in that ankle. And I can attest to them that they have saved me several times. And I don't know why riders don't ride using these more often. Yes, they are ugly. Yes, they're a little heavy, but they save your ankles. They do exactly what they're designed to do. Even in ruts, your ankles don't dip down too far to where it gets caught off, and boom, you're off. Speaking of mistakes, Tomac almost didn't make it to the main event. Around the first corner, you have the step on, step off, triple quad. And with these tabletops here at Denver, there was no lip on them. So riders really had to seat bounce or preload to get enough distance to get over the last little landing. And they were casing it hardcore. And a normal bike would case an endo, and you would not be able to set up for a triple because you're losing ground contact time with a small little case and bounce. You're not cleaning a jump clearly. You're not downsigning it perfectly. And that's what I believe happened to Tomac here, is small little case off the step off, and just enough to where inside that transition, you're losing just a couple feet of adequate wheels on the ground to where you can adjust your body position and make sure your weight is centered so that you can jump this triple. And Tomac knew he was a little bit off, but he still went for it, and his body does an amazing job adjusting. Look at how he stands straight up because that front wheel is going down. So the front wheel is diving down, and he is responding to by standing up. And standing up, getting long, is bringing that front wheel back up so you're not endoing. This was a scary moment for me. My butt was puckering while he was doing that, and he makes it. And then what does he do? He leaves the past to be the past. A normal guy would go, I'm going to just roll out the section. That was a pretty big mistake. No, he then seat bounce and goes from one extreme to the other. Now we have an air wheelie. And a rider like Tomac is one of the only people in the world that could get away with certain things like this. And I'm just astonished when I see the level of talent and precision from these top athletes. That was insane. Was it minute? Yes. Is it catastrophic for almost any other rider? Potentially. But for these top tier guys, they make it look like nothing happened. That was a major endo in progress, and he prevented it. Really, really cool. There's a saying, the best experience is not your own. What I mean by that is it's best to have somebody that has made mistakes to teach you so that you don't have to waste time doing that. And Complete Racing Solutions, they've got a membership site which does exactly that. They have 3 tiers for their membership. You have a full-time racer that rides 5+ hours a week, a weekend warrior, and then just a fitness in general, one that you're not riding at all. You'll also get information on nutrition and hydration and mental development, and not to mention partnership discounts, which major brands, which pretty much pays for the membership itself. You'll also get 2 live webinars with Coach himself. And let me tell you, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm using him for my Ironman training, and it has helped out immensely. Make sure you go to CompleteRacingSolutions.com and you check out his membership. Max Vohland with an epic save on the wall jump before the finish line. Typically, these wall jumps, the degrees are much steeper than a typical jump. Usually, jumps are built with a 1:2 to 1:3 ratio. What I mean by that is if you measure from the bottom to the top of the lip, it's got to be double to triple the distance from the top of the lip to the bottom of the starting point of the jump. These guys are probably more like 1:1, so they do cause some kickback if you were trying to just jump them. However, I digress. Watch Max Vohland's ankle as he comes off. As these riders try to stay lower, well, it's just physics, okay? Their feet and their foot pegs get closer to the lips, and if they touch, it's bad news bears. And watch Max as he does an epic scrub. However, look at his toe. His toe and his foot peg hit the lip, which creates a endo effect. And again, I am astonished with how instantaneously these riders make adjustments because of how much time they spend on these motorcycles. They're one with the machine. They know exactly what to do. And just what I was talking about with Tomac, watch Max as he extends his body to raise that front wheel to counteract the endo. Does it look pretty? No. But did he save it? Abso-effing-lutely. A mere mortal would not have had the forethought to counteract what the machine was doing, and we would just be along for a massive endo and a trip to the hospital. But these riders are able to counteract, and yeah, it didn't look pretty, but he got the job done. Just that extension raises that front end off. People might think that they're leaning forward, but no, they are not leaning forward. They are raising that front wheel up by getting straight. Sheer amazement. There was a few times in this race where I was just sitting there, just with a giant grin on my face. But that is the end of the video. I sincerely appreciate every single one of you motorcycle two-wheel fanatics. Stay tuned. I got a lot planned this week. As always, keep it WFO. Bra-da-da-da-da-whoa.